build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me balls, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. We call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty. I'm joined tonight by Brian. Brian, how are you doing?
English.
I didn't catch any of that.
It's the boy in Ghana reading out the Premier League scores.
I've not seen that yet. I've heard it, but I haven't seen it.
I came across it about half an hour ago, and I've been absolutely rolling about the place ever since. You have to see it. It's like he's never practiced English before, and he's trying to give the scores, and that's how he starts. And then he goes, Everton 1, Manchester United 3. He just goes through the whole fixture list.
I'll have a wee look out for that after the show. John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not the best. I've been better. I'm in the bad books in the house. We went to make tea earlier, and Jenny said to me, "Can you prepare the vegetables before tea?" And apparently, telling them, "Right, here's what's going to happen, lads. You're going to get cut up, and you're getting put in a pot." Wasn't what she meant. So
I was just thinking to myself that one of your dad jokes, I don't think they've made an appearance for a wee while now. That was the first.
Aye, I need to up my game in that respect.
Too busy making cock jokes.
Aye, too busy talking about knobs. Right, Shortbangers, if this is the first time you've listened to it, it's 20 minutes-ish. We take on questions from listeners, and we will answer them as best we can. Hopefully get some laughs along the way. So I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock just now. That was clock with an L there. Right, proper game show stuff. Right, so we're started, and the first question comes from Tom Fairney, and I've just fucking lost it again. Right, right. What's the neatest footballing trick you've seen, either live or on TV? So you're thinking things like Cruyff turn or Rene Higuita doing the scorpion.
Zamama rainbow flick in the sort of bottom left-hand corner at the famous 5 stand. I'm sure he lifted up over a Motherwell player's head and collected it on the other side.
Good shout. What about you, Brian?
The Ross Chisholm point.
There's also the Gambian Roberto Carlos managing to hit the punter that had been giving him abuse in the East Stand with a free kick when everybody thought he was going to shoot for a goal. He knew exactly what he was doing. Just thought, fuck it, this is going out for a throw-in.
Are you saying that Package Abbey demonstrated his pinpoint accuracy by battering a boy in East Stand?
I saw his wee YouTube clip, and there's no way he could have missed a free kick that badly without meaning it.
The Gambian Roberto Carlos. Okay, no.
You talk about doing the rainbow flick. When I worked, so when I left school, I worked at McDonald's for a while, and there was a boy started called Robbie, who I can't remember where he came from, but it wasn't from Edinburgh, and you could tell he was from somewhere with a limited gene pool, probably the best way to put it. But he was could have been 5. He was, but he was obsessed with football. So he'd turn up for work with a football, and on his break he'd go out in the car park and he would play football. So never ever without a football. And we used to jump across the Meadow Bank sometimes and get a kick about an AstroTurf. And there was one time we went, and it was like fucking. It was like something for Roy of the Rovers. You couldn't get the ball off him, and he was doing that. And he did the rainbow flick over. So what he did is he did it over one boy's head, ran round him, collected it, and then did it to the next person that came to tackle him. And you went, this boy's like, I couldn't believe how he hadn't got picked up for a team. And then we had a game of 11s one time, and he was shite. Like the worst player you've ever seen. It's like he had no idea how to play football. He was obviously somebody who'd been brought up playing on his own, because he could do every trick that you could imagine, as many keepy uppies as you could do or anything, but he couldn't pick a pass or know where to stand on the pitch or anything. It was actually, you could look at him going, how could you be so fucking bad but also be so good?
Was it Dre Wright?
It could have been. Aye, anyway. Have you ever thought that a player was drunk?
Hmm.
The Gambian Roberto Carlos, when he hit that free kick.
Graham Smith against
Aye.
Motherwell.
6-6.
Aye.
There was folk thought he was at that game. Do you know, like he'd taken a bung or something like that and had a bet on, but he saved a penalty and stuff in that game as well. So who knows? Maybe it was steaming. What about you, John?
Nothing really sticks out. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there's been some stinking performances. And actually, I was just thinking about the time that Brian Kerr was applauded off the pitch. And I wonder if he was that bevied that game that he just kind of wandered about in a daze.
Quite possible. Nobody would have noticed. If you were a doorman in a nightclub, who's the footballer you would let in with, or you wouldn't let in with the rest of his mates?
Brian Kerr. You could never be sure if he'd left.
Flo
He's scared to pull the
Canberry.
shutters down.
John?
I suppose the easy answer is, do you know, it'd be a toss-up between anyone in the Heart squad and Alan McGregor.
Big shagger.
Aye.
Aye, questionable shagger, allegedly.
I'll say Ollie McBurney, just because everybody hates him now.
Oh.
And the last one from Tom was, what is the kindest gesture you've seen on a football pitch?
Phil with the canal.
Aye, that's good to be it.
Yeah.
Fuck
Although-
me, the number of goals that Zibby Malkowski shipped to opposition players.
Maybe he trumps it. There was Cannon again that played bootmark that time as well. That was decent. All right, David Loudon said if you could travel back in time to run on the pitch in a match to boot the ball away, stopping a certain goal against Hibs, which game would it be?
Can I substitute Ball for Wayne Foster and just boot him away?
You could do that. That was the one that sprung to my mind as well. The worst thing about that game night is we fucking battered them, and it was nil going. Scottish Cup winner. It was going into the last however many minutes of the game. Sure, it was late on, and I was up in the old North stand at the time, which is like now the West stand, and I remember kind of thinking how shite it was that they were lucky enough to get a replay in that game,
Aye.
and then that happened. Aye,
Yep.
that probably would be my one as well. What about you, John?
Scottish Cup semi-final 2016-2017 against Aberdeen. Their third goal, because the first two, you know, maybe they deserved it, maybe they never, but we got back into the game after the substitution for, I think it was 5 for Holt, and we were battering them, and we didn't deserve to go the way that we did.
Are you
So
eating a
definitely that one.
satsuma and washing it down with a can of Tennent's?
Aye, I'm a fucking weirdo.
Wow.
To be fair, like there's a good second or two between eating the satsuma and drinking the Tennent's. It's not like it's a palate cleanser. I wanted both.
An important second or two in it.
Aye. It's
right,
not like it's a satsuma chaser.
you can inject fruit with alcohol. Like you had vodka melon before.
No.
So if you get melon, you can put vodka through it, and then eat the melon, and it's quality. Recommend it. I've done that for many a year. All right, the words near read said, Big Ron wants Hibs to embrace his Peruvian heritage. So apart from llama burgers at the kiosks and the obligatory halftime panpipes band, what other changes could you see happening?
I think I replied to this already and said that I wanted a sign on Arthur's seat that was visible to everyone within Easter Road and to passing air traffic that pointed the direction and distance to Machu Picchu.
So like with a wee one going another way, so Easter Road that way, 2 miles, and then
Aye.
Machu Picchu that way, however many thousand miles.
Absolutely. I want that.
Do you mind the wee marching band for the fast show? They weren't really marching, they were always up the hill or whatever, but they were playing the panpipes and the drums, and they were terrible. But they just used to kind of like form a line going about the place. That's what I would like to see, just randomly appearing now and again at the games.
Do you think we'll ever get cheerleaders back at Easter Road?
No.
Good.
Unless we want to do it, we could do it. I'm sure they would object.
Jesus.
Give us an E. Then we'll start.
supply the drugs, I'll supply the pom-poms.
Brian, you got anything Peruvian that you'd like to see at Easter Road?
It's just a big fat line on your seat.
Just when you get
Welcome to Easter Road.
Fuck, could you imagine a razor blade and a wee mirror just for chopping up? Well, honestly, like, can you imagine going back to Easter Road after like everyone gets vaccinated at their tits and gets rid of the COVID, and there's just a line waiting for you Easter Road? Everyone would be trying their fucking life.
I'd buy a season ticket.
songs and stuff.
What's that?
They get to improve the songs. Everyone be like a double speed. High bees, high bees. The players will be going, what the hell's happening here? Pipe the music back in again. That was better. Right, Neil.
Imagine the phone call on the Monday morning for the lost property section. I'm sure I left my jaw in the West Stand.
Jaw and my dignity. Right, Neil Renton, what's the best description you've heard of a player? Non-Hibs, he's got an example here. Controlled by a 10-year-old in the crowd on a PlayStation, or controlled by a 10-year-old in the crowd on a PlayStation. Gary Neville and David Luiz. And Hibs, he looks like he's just woke up from a nap, which was his son and Stevie Mallon.
Been referred to as a long-haired, baldy bastard. is most definitely my favourite.
I've not got anything. I can't think of anything.
I mind, I used to sit in the West Lower, down towards the way end, and it was when linesmen had all red uniforms on, or strips. Like, does a linesman or referee wear a uniform or a strip?
Strip.
So all red, and the boy behind us shouted, "Just stand still and open your mouth. You're made for mere fucking use as a post box."
That's first class.
Aye. Or a few folks sent examples. Tortolano was successfully marked out of the game by a divot. That was Sir Barney McGrew, and he would be better standing off the pitch to chop wood. Rowan Vine. Right, Kaiser Soze said, "Do you think VAR should be rolled out in the Premiership ASAP?"
No.
No.
How no? I like VAR.
It's just ridiculous.
I like it because it pisses folk off so much. Like, and normally, like, obviously you have the exceptions, right? But there's something like perversely enjoyable about seeing somebody going tonto about scoring a goal and then getting it ruled out because they're a boy hair offside, like for a ridiculous dotted line.
Patrick Bamford getting a goal disallowed because he pointed to where he wanted his teammate to pass the ball is just where I thought, nah, this is becoming a parody of itself.
In all seriousness, it's gone too far. It has sort of ruined football the way that they apply it. Although if you imagine you supported one of Leeds' rivals and that happened, you would be pissing yourself about that for fucking ages. Right. So let's... Oh, there was a... I'm just looking through my bookmark tweets, which is what happened with folks sending questions. I bookmarked the tweets. But on Wednesday, do you know Google Doodle? You know, when you go to Google and there's a wee picture on it, and they normally change the theme for whatever reason. Well, the doodle that they used on Thursday or yesterday was a woman who was an artist from the 1800s, and her name was Fanny Eaton. So we asked folk to tell us like funny names, and we had Dick Trickle, Brian Pinas, Curry Burns, Major Dickie Head, Yuri Nikabolkov, Dick Pound, Jason Cockrack, Willie Stroker, Jim Kerr's Spanish cousin Juan, Mustafa Cock, Raphael Scheidt, somebody worked with a guy who had an Aunt Alec and Aunt Etta. Surname was Dick. Dick. Excellent. Right, Craig Montgomery said, once crowds are back in, do you think we should scrap the 10-second challenge and replace it with a gladiator-style arena where the most greeting-faced fans from message boards, Facebook and Twitter are fed to the lions for everyone else's entertainment?
I'm up for that.
I was thinking maybe we could have like, could we have Ron Gordon like sitting up on high, giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down, depending on whether he wants someone to live or die.
Well, you could. I'm not sure. This is not the type of guy who'd be into that, though. Do you know what I mean?
I
That
reckon
depends
there's-
what's waiting on his seat when he enters the ground. Take him down! It's a fucking massacre. Ron's absolutely out his tits and everybody's getting killed. What a come down that would be for him.
Fucking wake up the next morning going, what the hell happened yesterday? I've got a vague memory of a decapitated head getting chewed up by a lion. How the hell did that happen? Right, TG Willis. Oh, say TG Wallace is what you want to say. Did I TG Willis or TJ Hooker? So what's the funniest thing you've seen at a football game?
Stevie Fulton. Booked. Oh, in fact, just Stevie Fulton.
John?
I think I've got an odd sense of humour, so I don't know if anyone would appreciate it, but I
guess what it is?
so you know how when you go to the chippy, Brian, you'll know this. Well, in fact, do you get a baked or do you get a deep fried pizza when you go?
Deep fried.
Deep fried.
Oh,
Aye.
that depends. Both.
So you know how
Yeah.
they
Pizza Crunch where you are, which is a deep fried
No.
pizza.
No,
I'm
but it
not-
does
I've
sound
not seen-
exquisite.
I've not seen anything deep fried for fucking months. Aye, so you know how the pizzas and the chippy come in cellophane wrappers? Like it's to me it seems like they're entirely unique to chippies, those types of pizzas. So someone had snuck one of these into the East Stand, like the old East Stand at Easter Road. I can't remember who we were playing. It was Celtic, Rangers, or Hearts, one of the three. And they've just thrown it onto the pitch like a frisbee, but it wasn't even like they were being sly about it. They just launched it on the pitch, and of course the police have come along and said, "Right, that's you nicked for a fucking pizza."
That's harsher.
I also not at the football, but well, I was out getting my tea the night. I was in Morrison's, and one of the folk that was working there was putting all the reduced price items out, and I've walked past the aisle, and all I can see her is saying, "Back, stand back." There was two people there that were just lurking, ready to pounce on whatever it was that she was putting out, and it just reminded me of the guy from Titanic. When they're all trying to launch into the lifeboats. Back, I say. And when I got up to the till later on, one of the folk that had been standing there, he came up and he must have had in the region of about 8 different types of fish, all with the yellow reduced price stickers on, from like the full fillets of fish, like just like the fish with the tail and the eyes and all that still attached, to like the breadcrumb styles. Fuck no, like the boy must have been after his protein something rotten.
Aye.
Anyway,
There's like a whole how would we say, like a communal thing with the reductions. Is the same people, and they have like kind of a wee set of rules for themselves about the kind of the etiquette for grabbing stuff off the shelves. I tend to go to Tesco around about that time of night, and I avoid those bits for it because there's some folk who just wade right in and avoid the etiquette, and they get pelters for the folk who are there every day. But, aye, fair play to them. They get some good bargains. Funniest thing I've seen at the football, probably Natural Order banner. That was like one of the best moments ever at football.
Yes.
And also the Gambian Roberto Carlos taking a free kick out for a throw-in. Right, the Chalmers 1875 said, "What's funnier, Craig Levine's ability to find his way into a toilet at a crucial time, or Brian's inability to make his way into one?"
Oh God, so many memories. So many soiled boxer shorts.
Matty, have you ever had a shite outside?
No, not well. It depends. Like I've been like, camping and stuff like that, where you're in one of the wee kind of, like I say, camping tea in the park, but you go in the Portaloo things and you have to.
Aye, that's not outside.
That's worse than outside that. No, I don't think I have. No.
I have twice on the West Highland Way.
Voluntarily.
Aye. Well,
I've
I mean,
yet to do one of them.
I was on the precipice of it being involuntary. That's why I dropped my drawers and let one go.
These are the fine margins you need to be aware of. Trust me.
It's one of
if
my
you ever
worst
do-
fears. Like,
Sorry, Matty, go on.
so we did when I worked at HSBC. There was a couple of times we did Ben Nevis, like for charity climb. We go and walk up Ben Nevis and back. And I was going to be out for 4 or 5 hours minimum doing it. And I worry. I think I need the toilet all the time. Like, I'm brutal for it. So I just made sure I kind of chowed down on like Imodium and stuff like that. Like, I'm not taking any chances, but especially because I've been drinking the night before, and that's even worse. Like, I have no chance without medicating heavily. It would have been a disaster. So I tend to prepare if I think this is what's going to happen. Derbies are brutal as well because I think about you, but I always need at least 3 derby shites before the game. And when we're at Easter Road, like I've had to shite Easter Road, and I don't know if you've ever done that, but nobody wants to shite at the football. Nobody does. But aye, and that's with taking stuff. So
I know
I've done it outside. I panic about stuff like that.
a mate of mine who's got a nut allergy. He so he carries like EpiPens and all sorts, just in case he was to eat something or ingest something. It's got one of the allergens in it. And he was telling me recently that he had it wasn't a momentary panic, it was a massive panic because I think he said he dipped into this it was like a bag of cereal that was in the cupboard that he hadn't seen for ages and it was without a box. So he's just dipped into it and he started eating it and he started feeling like his throat closing up. He's like, oh, fucking hell. Like it must be crunching out cornflakes or something. And because I can't remember his exact reasoning for it, and this is the bit that troubles me. But what he done was he's got in his I don't know if it was like antihistamines or whatever it was, but he's got a mortar and pestle out, and he's crushed them up, and then he's done himself a line of whatever the fucking medication was, and he's snorted it to try and fucking stop the what do you call it, anaphylactic shock. Honestly, it's the most middle class thing that I've heard this boy do.
Who's got time to think I'll get the mortar and pestle out for that?
Well, exactly.
Right, time's up. We've only got a couple of questions left. Peter Brown said, with the first wave of vaccines, will Easter Road crowd in February be just old folk and key workers? I said, or that's pretty much the West Stand, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you include yourself as a key worker, Matty?
Old folk.
I've asked this before, I think, but if you work for Timson's, are you classed as a key worker?
I suppose you are, eh?
If the shoe was on the other foot, would they ask that about you?
Oh, right. Before you get fobbed off, we will we'll move on. But I'd have no problem. See if it was all the old folk and key workers who've had to put up with the worst shit over the last year. I think they deserve being the first back in, so fair play to them. Edinburgh FM said, who would win in a foot race? Ivan Sproul, Mickey Weir, Pat Stanton or Martin Boyle? Well, Pat Stanton's old now, so no him.
Aye, Mickey Weir's got documented spinal trouble.
He had amazing hair back when he was playing football. Mickey Weir, like the curly centre part. Awesome.
Yes. If he could brushed it with a toffee apple.
Aye, superb. Always thought it looked cool with that. That's it was sort of like blood highlights or something through it. Amazing.
Sproul
80s.
faster than Boyle.
I would say so.
Aye, I think so. And he will remain so until Boyle scores a hat-trick at Ibrox. I think that's the criteria. How do you judge who's the fastest? Which one scored a hat-trick at Ibrox? So it's Sproul.
Yep.
Right, and then some twat called Long John Banger has said, would you rather be eaten or bummed by rabid hillbillies in a zombie apocalypse? Hey, John, it's your question. What would you rather?
I don't know, like Sophie's choice, isn't it?
Do you die with both of them, or?
Well,
Aye, and if you're bummed, do you catch zombie? Is that how they infect you?
I honestly never thought about it that much. I think it was Mike Berry had suggested something about I'd come across a car at the driving range where the back door.
You manky
open.
bastard.
Filthy man.
There's just no stopping you.
I encountered an open door, and I'm assuming that someone's just lifted the golf clubs out and they've forgotten.
You've come across a car and you've encountered an open door. You were dogging. Admit it.
Aye, like it's.
I noticed the lights had been flashing.
It's actually the American golf driving range on the A89 is a dogging hotspot. You should all check it out. What was the question? What were we talking about? It was the lack of thought that I'd put into the zombie apocalypse. I'd probably rather be eaten because I don't think you want to be bummed by rabid hillbillies and then you're going to get rabies then, aren't you?
It depends if they use protection. They could be gentlemen.
Right. So are the hillbillies also zombies?
I'm because
that's how I interpreted the question at first, but now I've read it again. They're just hillbillies with rabies, then, is what you're saying. And the zombie apocalypse is incidental.
Aye, they're all sort of like subplots, story arcs.
Oh well, now I don't know what to think.
Nothing makes sense to me anymore.
Yeah, I think we'll leave that one there. If anybody wants to answer that one, put the answer on a postcard and send it to the usual address. Right, that's us out of time, gents. So we will wrap up there. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll be back again on Monday probably for Long Bangers, where we'll look back at the Celtic game. Hopefully we win that, but I doubt we will. In the meantime, take care, and we'll catch you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.